don't know if you guys have noticed, but Oribos is a really strange city. First off, there seems to be levels of it that you cannot access. It really seems like it is set up just perfectly to be sectioned off into raid wings. The chamber of the Arbiter literally looks like a boss room, and most interestingly, the city was actually designed by a senior dungeon environment artist. So what is going on with this theory? What is going on with Oribos? Could the Eternal City be a raid in the future? Brought to you by Gamivo.com. Make sure to click the link in the description and get Shadowlands as well as game time at discounted prices. Let's start off with the most important bit of information, and that is the actual lore behind this hub. So, Oribos, known as the Undying or the Eternal City, was created by the first ones. We definitely have that confirmation. We don't know who they are exactly at this point in time, but the city is ancient, to say the least. It was said that it literally predates all memory. Essentially, Oribos is like a crossroads, a nexus, where all the souls in the universe arrive to, and through the Arbiter, they're distributed through the countless realms of the Shadowlands. I've laid out a few theories in the previous videos of how I think that death long ago was chaotic, how it was tamed, and how Oribos was essentially enforced upon this realm. My thoughts right now are that the first ones are somehow connected to the Titans, or at least the beings of order, and that they enforced order upon the relatively chaotic death realm, and that Oribos is essentially the center of this order, the key, the main computer. Now, the most interesting bit of lore is the fabled sepulchre everyone has been talking about for like the past 6 months. So, in Maldraxxus, the missing Eternal One Primus left messages for us. He told us that the jailer needs to be stopped. He must not reach the Arbiter, and he cannot access the sepulchre under any circumstance, or all is lost. Now, most people speculated that the sepulchre is the sepulchre of knowledge in Maldraxxus that contains all the war information in the universe, and that definitely makes sense why the jailer would want that, but I doubt this crucial bit of information would just be left in the open and that we can access this fabled sepulchre with a side quest. Also, if we go by the theory that the rune carver is the Primus, I'm guessing he already has the war information, the battle knowledge that he needs. I doubt he's really lacking in this aspect. However, the more likely bit of evidence for me is in regards to the broker theory. So, in Oribos, two brokers are talking about the location of the sepulchre, and they just stop as they see us approaching and apologize for talking about it publicly. One of the brokers tells him, "Silence, do not speak of the grand design." Now, none of this confirms that it is located exactly in Oribos, but I think this is the actual sepulchre, the one that the jailer is searching for, and that we must keep away from him. The broker calls the sepulchre the grand design. Now, if we go by the theory that Oribos was enforced upon death, the Arbiter is a servant of this mechanism, sort of as a computer, it would make sense that this famous sepulchre could be the center, like the main computer of this entire machinery. Sepulchre is a relatively obscure word if you don't know what it means. It essentially just translates into a tomb, a small room, or a monument. Maybe this is where the original jailer is, or maybe this is where the heart of the jailer is located, since you can see he has a hole in his chest. If that was the case, it could make sense why the jailer must not reach this place ever. Now, how does all of this information actually relate to the topic of this video, like Oribos being a raid exactly? Well, you can see the Arbiter is still quite obvious in Oribos and she is dormant, yet the jailer must not also reach her. We need to stop him from doing that. I'm guessing if the jailer reached Oribos, he might also go for the grand design. So just the fact alone that the jailer is planning to reach Oribos and the Arbiter is a good bit of evidence that something is going to happen within Oribos. Additionally, the city is also incredibly mysterious in so many ways. First of all, you can access the mall from the main link when you just jump down there. Second, the entire city just seems like it was designed as a raid would be. Here are just some of the observations. Oribos was created by a senior dungeon environment artist, the guy in charge of, well, designing raids and dungeons. This in itself could be a complete confirmation, although it might also not mean much, as I'm guessing these dungeon artists could just be in charge of closed off spaces as they specialized in them, while the other level designers might work on the open world stuff. However, the layout of the city is just incredibly suspicious. It just seems like it is just begging to be a raid. Oribos is very weirdly shaped, to say the least. It looks like one gigantic tower that is split and sectioned off. You might not have noticed, but at the moment we're only accessing a few of the floors and we haven't seen everything Oribos has to offer. Seriously, when you go to Oribos through the portal, just look at the lower levels. You cannot access them, yet there seems to be so much room down there. Seeing that we travel vertically up and down in the city through the portal within the center, I doubt they would make a lower section just for the aesthetic purposes. To me, it seems like we're only seeing one part of Oribos and that more is left for the future, especially since there just seems to be additional portals for the flight paths that we cannot access yet. I'm guessing this is going to be reserved for future content. Additionally, aside from Oribos being quite clearly Titan-like, the way the city is split into sections, it just seems like it will be set up perfectly for a raid, like with wings on each side. Now, of course, at the moment, all of this is speculation based on the actual looks and aesthetics and some information from the team working on the city. However, the main reason why I think Oribos could be a raid is the actual lore behind it. It really seems to make a lot of sense. The city just seems way too important. We need to stop the jailer from reaching the Arbiter. The Arbiter is in Oribos, and the way Zoal's power is growing right now, I really doubt we'll stop him from reaching the Arbiter. This, alongside with the location of the sepulchre, the brokers talking about it in Oribos, and Oribos looking like a command center to enforce order upon the entirety of the Shadowlands, just seems like even more evidence that this is going to be the key to lore progression and us ideally saving the Shadowlands. Thank you for watching. Check out the top 10 most powerful warlocks by clicking on the screen, and also check out Doronsmovies Academy for videos on real world history and science. See you next time.